Hey guys and welcome, and we're going to be doing Edexcel A-Level Biology B revision, and we're doing stages of aerobic respiration. Right, so cellular respiration provides ATP for processes within a cell. Aerobic respiration has three main stages: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain, and this results in energy being transferred from glucose to ATP when oxygen is available. So we've got glucose and you get oxygen combining together, and they will form carbon dioxide and water, and energy is lost as heat to the surroundings. And what happens is ADP is combined with phosphate to produce ATP, and that is the energy available. And for about 32 molecules of ATP are produced from one glucose molecule. And remember, the energy cannot be changed, or energy is only changed from one form to another, but it cannot be created or produced. So ATP is the universal energy currency, and that means as ATP is constantly produced and used within the cells as a source of energy for metabolic reactions. It is produced by respiration in all organisms, including plants, through photosynthesis, and it's a process within cells that requires energy to break down from ATP to ADP and phosphate and to release the energy. So the cycle is you've got ATP, and that will be used as energy for cellular work and for chemical synthesis. And then when you've used that up, the bond gets broken. So what you get is the ADP plus a phosphate molecule. And then once again, it will reform back to ATP through ingestion of food or through sunlight if it's in plants. And the energy is eventually transferred as heat from the organism to the surroundings as heat. Right, because remember, energy is not created or produced, and so therefore it's transferred from one source to another. So in this case, it's being transferred as heat. Okay, so how does aerobic respiration work? Well, in the cytoplasm, we've got glycolysis occurring, and that's when glucose is broken down to pyruvate, and in the process we've got a reduced NAD, and reduced NAD is basically NADH, and we input ATP for this reaction, but also we get ATP being produced. However, this is only a very small amount. And pyruvate will move into the mitochondria, will undergo the link reaction. That's when we have carbon dioxide being produced, and another NADH in this case, because it's reduced NAD, and we have coenzyme A being inputted in the link reaction, but as a result have acetyl-CoA produced. Acetyl-CoA will undergo the Krebs cycle, in which we have another molecule of CO2 being produced, and ATP is also produced, but again it's only a very small amount. And the NADH that we've got produced now is the reduced NAD from the Krebs cycle and from the link reaction and from glycolysis will all enter the electron transport chain to undergo oxidative phosphorylation, and that is when the NADH the reduced NAD will give up its H plus and the electrons to the electron transport chain, where they will produce ATP, as well as the H will combine with the oxygen to produce water, and now they will be oxidized again to NAD and FAD, and so what happens, they'll be reused again in the beginning. And that's a simple outline of the process. Afterwards we'll go through a more detailed outline. Okay, so now try this. Describe the roles of coenzymes in aerobic respiration. Okay, so they're talking about this. So we have NAD and FAD, and it starts off in glycolysis, where NAD will accept your hydrogen because the glucose has been oxidized. And then moving on to the Krebs cycle, we have NAD will also accept a hydrogen when the compounds inside will be oxidized, and FAD here as well is going to be reduced because it will also accept a hydrogen. Right, moving on now, we've got NADH and FADH, because they've both been reduced. They will now be oxidized in the electron transport chain through oxidative phosphorylation, where they will lose the hydrogen ions and electrons, and so they will be providing the energy the energy to produce ATP, and this happens in the ETC and through a process by chemoosmosis, and that's it.